There's this one skill that's absolutely critical to every single interaction we have, but it's the one most of us never really practice. So today, let's dive into that silent skill, effective listening.
Okay, so when you think of a great communicator, what pops into your head? Probably someone who's super eloquent, right? Someone with charisma, a confident voice. But here's the thing, that's only half the story. The most important part of communication, it might not be about speaking at all.
Because let's be real, most communication breakdowns, the arguments, the misunderstandings, they don't happen because someone spoke poorly. They happen because someone listened poorly. And that's exactly what we're going to break down right now.
This leads us right into something called the listening illusion. It's this sneaky assumption we all make every single day that just because we can hear sound, we must be listening.
Yeah, we tend to treat listening like it's breathing, something that just happens automatically, in the background. But the source material we're looking at today makes it super clear. True, effective listening is an active, disciplined skill. It takes real, conscious effort. So if listening is a skill, why are most of us, let's be honest, kind of bad at it? Well, the answer lies in these hidden barriers that are constantly working against us, usually without us even noticing.
And trust me, these barriers are literally everywhere. You've got our own bad habits like figuring out what we're going to say next while the other person is still talking. Then there are speaker-related things like maybe getting distracted by their accents. Of course, you've got the obvious stuff like our phones buzzing. And then there are our own personal biases that filter everything we hear. But there's one barrier that's a real game changer.
Okay, so get this. The average person speaks at, maybe 150 words per minute? Seems like a pretty normal pace, right? It's comfortable for us to follow along. But here's the kicker. Your brain, it can process information way, way faster. We're talking around 500 words per minute. So you see, this creates this massive gap between how fast they're talking and how fast you're thinking. And what happens in that gap? That is the danger zone. With all that extra mental horsepower just sitting there, our minds start to drift. We daydream. We start judging the speaker. We plan our brilliant response. We're not actually listening. We're just waiting for our turn to talk.
But here's something you might not know. Not all listening is created equal. See, depending on our goal in any given conversation, we actually shift between different modes of listening.
You've got appreciative listening. That's just listening for pure enjoyment, right? Like your favorite music or a great story. Then there's empathetic listening, where you're really trying to connect and understand someone's feelings. There's comprehensive listening, which is all about learning, like in a classroom. And critical listening, when you're trying to evaluate what's being said. But then, there's that fifth mode, the one we fall into way too often. Superficial listening. Come on, we've all been there. You're nodding, you're making eye contact, you're throwing in an aha for good measure, but your mind is a million miles away. Your body is in the room, but your attention has definitely left the building. It's the most common form of not really listening there is.
And this right here brings us to the most crucial point of this whole explainer, the fundamental difference between just hearing sounds and actually understanding the message. It's the big battle, active versus passive listening.
And believe me, the difference is night and day. Passive listening, that's our default mode. It's lazy, it's effortless. We hear the sounds, but we don't retain much. It's just ineffective. But active listening, man, that's intentional. It's a full-on mental workout. You're not just hearing words, you're interpreting body language, tone, you're building trust, and creating real meaning. I absolutely love this analogy from our source because it just hits the nail on the head. One takes disciplined effort and gets you real results. The other takes nothing and gives you nothing back. It's a choice we have to make in every single conversation.
All right, so as we start to wind down, let's turn the spotlight back on ourselves. It's time to stop blaming the speaker for miscommunication and start taking a hard look at our own habits as listeners.
So take a hard look at this list. Does any of this hit a little too close to home? Are you the person who's just rehearsing your comeback instead of actually listening? Do you interrupt? Do you get defensive? Or do you just label a topic as boring and mentally check out? These right here, these are the real culprits.
And that really leaves us with one final, powerful idea to chew on. The next time a conversation goes south, resist that urge to blame the other person. Instead, just ask yourself, was I ready? Was I truly actively listening? Because at the end of the day, the quality of our communication doesn't just depend on how well we speak, but on how well we're prepared to listen.